Okay, so now we're finally onto something. I think perfect. Hopefully, you guys can see me just fine. Um, yes, I'm trying this new. I'm actually going live on my computer, so excuse me if I'm like doing too much, but I'm just trying to get myself right. Maybe next time I'll try to see if there's like a preview or something. Anyway, hi guys, hello, welcome. I am Fee. This channel, Beautiful J for the Journey, focuses mainly on self improvement, understanding what a new beginning for you could look like, whether it's you starting your life completely over, coming out of toxic situations, ships, situationships, relationships, and so forth. So I kind of give a glimpse of my own personal life here and there, which I call Fee's journey, my journey, but it's also the journey of life. So everyone's journey. So yeah, welcome. I wanted to go ahead and do a nice and lovely live today. It was on my heart to do so, and to go out and to give you guys this message. And the message is for everyone, including myself, to keep on plowing, keep on cutting those weeds. We need to make sure that we have the right intentions this time around. And I think the beginning of January, to me, it feels like January has been around for a while. I think last year, if I can remember, January went by extremely fast, at least to me. So this year, it just feels like, January went by kind of slow. And I don't know, I feel like I personally feel like I was able to breathe and able to really catch my breath. So yeah, it didn't go. January this year did not go by as quickly as I thought it would. Um, so okay. So yes, so keep on plowing. Oftentimes, I think one of our biggest challenges collectively is constantly being on our phones. And the reason why I say this is because, personally, I have done a lot of shadow work, a lot of going back to the past, a lot of seeing, what areas I could improve on with myself, with any unresolved childhood trauma and things of that nature. And I'm still a work and in process. So, with that being said, I took a look back and I started realizing like, wow, although I'm here, like I still do struggle with formulating more discipline when it comes to social media and my phone and now doing content creation and just involving myself and my personality online. It's it's quite the challenge, as one would say. It's quite the challenge now. So yeah. And the thing about it is when we find ourselves getting distracted, we're so caught in the moment. Like, you'll have your phone and you're caught in the moment of just scrolling, or you're caught in the moment of just watching some of your favorite content creators. Like, for example, in the background, you can see that I have a television. It's obvious. Do I use it? Not really. Um, Rarely. So I think now, like, there's just so many opportunities of indulging and engaging on social media that it kind of takes me away from the television, at least me. Whereas I could find my favorite podcaster and like watch a podcast on YouTube, or I could turn on my tablet and watch Netflix from my tablet, things like that. So I don't necessarily turn on the television, but we really need to set better intentions for giving ourselves, providing ourselves with more discipline in putting down those phones. So keep plowing. But in order for you to keep plowing, you're going to have to minimize your distractions. And the only way for you to minimize distractions is to be aware of it, right? You can't change something initially unless you yourself are aware of what you're doing. So, for example, if you find that you're not getting all the necessary work that you want to get done, not done, then maybe you need to take a pause, do a little bit of thinking, kind of write down your responsibilities or the things that you'd like to accomplish, the things that you'd like to get done on a daily basis, the things that you'd like to get done within the next month. Write those things down, right? That's number 1, right? Write those things down. In order for you to keep plowing, you need to first be aware of the situation that you're currently in and why it is that you keep uh-oh, sorry guys, why it is that you keep holding yourself back in a sense. So keep plowing, keep plowing. Write down what it is that you'd like to accomplish in the next month. And once you have that written down, put that to the side and get another sheet of paper. And I want you to write down what are some of the things that I could have accomplished within this first week that I didn't get to accomplish because I spent XYZ amount of time scrolling or on social media. And really think about that because I don't know about you guys, but my phone, it tells on me, it lets me know how many hours I spent on social media. And a lot of times, I'm really not aware. And then when I take a look at things like that, when I take a look at my screen time and what part was entertainment, what part was, this, that, the third, it really baffles me in a way to where I'm like, oh, had I just put aside some extra time instead of scrolling, I could have gotten X, Y, and Z done. And granted, sometimes when we scroll, it's for educational purposes. A lot of times we can't help that. And so, because of that, personally, I think that having the amount of access that we have to just information, like information overload on social media, you kind of have to pick and choose, what you're going to feed into and give most of your attention and time to. So that way you're incorporating some kind of discipline when you are engaging on social media, right? So let's say, for example, you are watching some content, or let's just say you're just watching a podcast that you find interesting on social media that you want to take a look at, and to you it's educational, it's purposeful, it goes and it correlates with your goals and your values and things like that. So let's say you spent 5 hours watching that content. Okay, you spent 5 hours watching your content. Now let's say that's one scenario. Let's say you are just randomly scrolling and scrolling and scrolling and just watching videos back to back to back to back, like just random videos. Whether it's, I think my issue, for example, my problem is cat videos. I love cat videos. Like if I see one little funny cat video, I'm just constantly scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. That is when we need to stop and pause, and it's like, you know what? Let me put my phone down. Because then it's becoming a distraction. when you are engaging into content that you don't necessarily need to engage in, or an overload of information that's not going to do anything purposeful for your life in the meantime or in the present moment, where you could be taking that energy and applying it to other things that you know you could get done or you know you could work on, that is when we need to put it to the side. That is when we have been distracted. That is when we are distracted. So we need to put our phones down. We need to put, and it's not just phones, it's, you could be at work and, who don't like a little gossip here and there, but you need to understand and know how to monitor that, right? You don't know, you won't know how to initially change something about yourself unless you're aware of it. So let's say you're um, with a group of people at work, right? Group of friends, whatever the case may be. And so you're with a group of friends and or coworkers, and they're just, they're talking, they're basically gossiping about this, that, and third. And you're engaging. If you are sitting there listening, you're engaging, right? So if you are making eye contact with the person that's talking about so and so, that's talking about so and so and so and so and so and so, you are energetically engaging. And so you're taking on all of that energy, all of the gossip energy, all of that, you know, and there's nothing wrong with a little bit of gossip, even I'm guilty of that, to a certain extent, but you have to know when to separate yourself. You have to know when your body and your mental state is like, you know what, I had enough. Or you know what, it's really not my thing, and I really don't wanna put any more energy into this, and so I'm just gonna walk away. Like, I'm just gonna go to the left, to the left, I'm gonna go to the left. So yeah, these are the things that we need to pay attention to when it comes to distractions. There's so many things to get distraction on. Ladies, this is a it now see, I've worked on this for some years, but to the ladies, I think our biggest distraction, anything about men, relationships, children, anything of that nature, hair, makeup, clothes. Like, we're so distracted with so many things, from skincare to how our body should look, to what clothes we should wear, to how we should wear our hair, to what's in, to what's not in, to how appeal more to the opposite sex, and this and that and the third. And I feel like we are definitely heavily distracted, right? Because I think overall, whether online or just walking somewhere in the store, women are always comparing themselves to each other. And I don't like, I've done it in the past, but I've definitely came a long way. A long, long way. But now that I've been aware of it for some time, I'm able to see it more presently with other people or other women. So, another girl, she'll find another woman beautiful, but then it's almost like energetically she'll have this emotion that kind of limits herself and puts herself down, to where she looks down, her head is down by her body language, her head is down, her tone minimizes, and you can tell that the confidence is no longer there. And you can almost feel this source of comparison, where it's like, oh, inside, I don't think she feels good enough, or I don't think she feels pretty enough because of X, Y, and Z. So I think this is one of the main distractions for women that we tend to go through. We're always comparing ourselves to each other, so to speak, and constantly online looking for what's the next best thing, how to make myself look better, how to level up, or whatever the case may be. A lot of the times, leveling up comes from within. Leveling up comes from a sense of awareness. Leveling up is about understanding and learning who you are, learning your personality, learning your style. Leveling up is not following a trend. Leveling up is not just hopping on aesthetics and calling it leveling up. That is not leveling up. Leveling up is when you go inside internally and really find out what it is that makes you special. If you haven't figured that out, look at different things, try different things out. You know, try different, don't just stick to one trend, don't just stick to one aesthetic and make it your own in a sense and think that it's just your style because it's not, it's everyone's style. So this is heavily from what I just been up from just basic observation, right? And personal experience, basic observation. I have seen many of us women just have this issue with constantly being distracted with these things, right? Wanting to conform, body image, um, comparisons with other females and things of that nature, wanting to be or present ourselves more appealing in a sense to the opposite sex and things of that. These are heavily monumental distractions to women. And so, how can we focus on ourselves? How can we truly focus on ourselves if our focus is, I would say about 85 to 90% of our focus is on social media rather than off social media, or 95 to, or 85 to 90% of our focus is on comparing, comparison. It doesn't always have to be on social media. It can always be outside the doors, like just wherever you go. You're comparing yourself to another beautiful woman because you haven't accepted the beauty that you have, that you're able to give, that you're able to present, right? And these are heavy distractions. And so, how can we continuously keep plowing, keep cutting those weeds, right? Making sure we have a great, solid soil foundation to maximize ourselves internally first. Because it's all the work is going to start in here. All the work is going to start in here. Things are not going to happen overnight. And that's another thing. This generation is so quick to move, is so quick to react, is so quick to say, hey, this is it. Let's get moving. Nothing today is a process. Nothing. It's just immediate. And then the ones that you do see come out of nowhere, you're like, oh my gosh, how did they get this type of success? How did they do this? And you study everything that they do looking for the formula, but the formula is within. And those who try to cheat code the formula, they may get somewhere, but they don't get far. If you want to think long term, you're going to have to learn how to be more aware of these distractions. And even if you are aware of them, okay, let's say you are aware. Let's say you know you get distracted. Okay, well, you've already made your choice. So if you know that you are already becoming heavily distracted, right? Heavily distracted. And you're like, okay, yeah, I know I get distracted. I know I need to do better. Okay, well then do better. Do better. This is something that I had to tell myself. I can't keep telling myself, I know I'm getting distracted, or I know this is a distraction, and not doing anything about it. Because time will go by and not care about what you think and not care about your feelings. So keep plowing, keep plowing, keep cutting those weeds, keep cutting the distractions. And no one's saying that this is something that you have to do in a day. I'm just throwing out some encouragement because I see a lot of people, and when I say my people, I mean my tribe of people, spiritual people that are on a new journey, that are venturing out into the unknown and are afraid, don't know what, the next couple of years really looks like. Because things can, you know, shifts can come in and just move. And you have to think and make the best move from there. And some people can be afraid of that if they're not comfortable with the uncomfortable, or if they haven't learned how to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. So keep plowing that energy into your daily lives. This is new for me. This is a new stage for me. I'm on my laptop instead of my phone, and we've updated our settings. So we've cleared everything. So I'm just excited that I can do a pre-record. Doesn't matter if anyone's here or not. Things have to grow. It has to grow. It has to grow. But in order for it to grow, you're going to have to find a way to count on and believe in yourself. Writing down things is the biggest thing that you can do for yourself. Having some type of board with something, you can put it on a sticky note. You could pin it on your board. You need to visually see if you're a visual person, like I'm a very visual. I need to see it, right? You see it every day, every single day. It is going to make a subtle difference in your life, right? Remind yourself to keep plowing. Remind yourself to limit distractions. If you are a visual person, please, I highly recommend, you have no idea, when you get up in the morning, you're technically still in theta state when you are just getting up in the morning. When you can add your aesthetics to it. You can put something in a frame that says keep plowing. You can put it on a sticky note, put it in your bathroom, put it on the bathroom mirror. Keep plowing. You know, you can put a little reminder on your desk. Keep plowing. Limit distractions. The little subtle things like that, it's really going to help you. It's going to help build momentum, muscle memory, as a reminder subconsciously. And that's all I have for you guys. I wanted to give this a test trial. My phone was not successful, but this one was. So, yes, there you have it. I am Fee. I go by Fee. Beautiful J for the journey. You already know. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Thank you all so very much for tuning into this journey thus far. We're learning as we go, and that's the most important part. If you're not growing, where are you going? All right, guys. See you later. Bye.